July 28th, 1988. Dear Will, tonight was, well, it was something else. Not how I expected it to go. I'd gone to bed super early since all our late night walkie conversations have been catching up to me, but you obviously had other plans. I woke up to the sound of light tapping on my bedroom window. I was so thrown off since I'm usually the one sneaking out in the middle of the night, but there you were at 1 a.m. hunched over my windowsill, wearing a The Cure t-shirt and a pair of gym shorts. I still don't know how you're able to just walk around at night in such light clothing. I'd bundled up in preparation to sleep tonight because summer nights always get super cold out of nowhere and I turn into an icicle otherwise. What are you doing here? I'd ask stupidly as I let you in. You grinned up at me and asked, "Want to go somewhere?" You had that mischievous gleam in your eyes that never fails to make me simultaneously nervous and excited. When I'd ask what place you had in mind, you simply shook your head, insisting upon the location being a surprise. I asked you if you wanted a sweatshirt or something before we headed out. You shook your head, insisted that you were fine, and then you shivered. I smirked down at you with a look that said, "I told you so," before rifling through my closet to pull out a hoodie and toss it in your direction. As I watched you put my sweatshirt on, I got the feeling I always get whenever you wear, or steal, my clothes. The closest word I could use to describe it is possessiveness. The good kind, I promise. It gives me purpose. Purpose for you, specifically, which is kind of my kryptonite if I'm being honest. So, with that said, please feel free to take my whole wardrobe. Cool? Cool. We stealthily made it out of my window and down onto the ground without dying, and then we grabbed our bikes before making our great escape. We biked out into the night, wind whipping through our hair, and I just felt so free. And for a second, just a split second, I imagined what it would be like if we were together and we're sneaking off to make out in the woods or something. That would be so romantic. Or scary. I don't know. But a guy can dream, right? Okay, I'm getting off topic. We ended up sitting at the top of the cliff at the quarry, a place familiar to the both of us, but more haunting to me, if anything. I still haven't told you the full backstory about what happened that day with Troy, James, Dustin, and Elle. I don't think I ever will, to be honest. You just blame yourself for what I did, and that's the last thing I want. Anyway, we sat there for 3 hours and talked about anything and everything. At one point, I asked you if you thought falling in love was in the cards for us. What? You said, turning to me with wide eyes. I realized then that it sounded like I had asked you if we would fall in love. Honestly, I probably would have come out to you right then if it weren't for the look of horror painted on your face, so I backtracked. I mean, for either of us? Like, do you think you'll ever fall in love? I mean, speaking for myself, you replied, swinging your legs back and forth over the edge of the cliff, just like you had on the swings the first day we met. No, I don't think so. I asked why, and you said, I don't think I'm, lovable. I'm too damaged. Which is so not true because, well, Exhibit A, Michael James Wheeler, presenting with a severe case of down bad. Same here, I said, looking up at the stars. God, I thought I was the only one. No, Mike, you're far from unlovable, you told me. You turned towards me then, lifting one leg back onto the ground below us and crossing it in front of you, and reached your hand out to touch the back of mine. If you saw me blushing, no, you didn't. First of all, you continued, you're not damaged. You're perfect just the way you are. Secondly, how could anyone not fall in love with you? Very easily, apparently, I said automatically, and I watched your eyebrows furrow. You're talking about Elle, you frowned, and I'd instantly regretted opening my mouth at all. I was actually talking about both Elle and you, because Elle and I never truly loved each other romantically, and you will never love me in the way I love you. Yeah, but I made an attempt to change the subject, to distance our conversation from the topic of my love life, but I failed miserably because you cut me off with your constant reassurance and encouragement. Just you wait. One day you're going to look back on this conversation and laugh. Any person would be incredibly lucky to be with you. Person, Will. You're my person. That's what I wanted to say, but instead my dumbass said, "You really think so?" Yeah, you told me, tears forming in your eyes, and I felt like I was in the van all over again. I was fucking this up, majorly. Well, that goes for you too, Will, seriously, I said. You're incredible, and anyone who can't see that is a fucking idiot. I, out of all people, would know. I was blind to my feelings for you for years. You glanced down at our hands, brushing your thumb over my wrist before scoffing out a sarcastic, eloquent Wheeler. And don't think I didn't notice those beautiful eyes of yours light up when I turned my palm upwards, linking our fingers together. I swear it's like our hands were meant to hold each other. I'll take the compliment, Byers, I said, and then you changed the topic to something along the lines of how you wanted to paint the scene in front of us in the style of Van Gogh. I think you should go for it. You could totally pull it off. We left the quarry around 4:45 a.m., and you biked all the way back to my house with me, even though your house is in the complete opposite direction. You wrapped your arms around my waist and pulled me into a tight hug, and I held on to you right back, basking in the affection for as long as I could before it could get weird. I went right back to my desk to write this as soon as you left, and now the exhaustion has crept up on me. So I'm gonna end the letter here. It's more of a novel, actually. I love you, always. I always will. Will. I know the pun is getting really old, but the opportunity was right there. Love, Mike.